I hear an echo.
From me or from you? Is it from me?
There you go.
Is it better?
Yeah, they can hear us too.
I'm
Weird.
so afraid of audio messing up because for some reason I go off on at least a 5 minute talk and then the audio's not there. So, welcome in everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hope you had a wonderful weekend, Sunday night. I hope you're not blowing away. I feel like I need to be tied down here in West Texas. It's cold. It's freezing cold, actually. I am just shocked at how cold it is. The wind chill's in the 20s. Kelly, how are you tonight?
I'm doing okay. Literally just rolled in from out of town. Went to go see my parents with my kiddos, and I think that storm is rolling into Houston as we speak. So my power was just flickering right as we were about to start. So hopefully it
Oh, wow.
makes it
No
through.
kidding.
Yeah, you
That's
know.
wild. Yeah.
Stranger things have happened. Maybe it was a sign. I was on to something.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I thought the cold weather was over, but apparently it's not. It's going to be a hard freeze tonight. It's a little bit unfortunate because everything's been blooming. I don't know if it's going to affect it too much, but yeah, I thought we were done with it, but apparently not. I was watching some people on X post some photos of I'm talking feet of snow, like feet of snow. I think that there's a handle. Her name's Olive, and it was like literally busting out the yardstick to do a measurement of snow. I was just like,
Wow.
yeah, nuts. Of course, I think they're up in the Midwest, far from where we are. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I only want to see that kind of snow if I'm in the mountains going skiing or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. It's not so sexy out here in the plains. Much better in the mountains for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, so I coined this little live stream as kind of a forecast from a play on meteorology. And I just wanted to maybe tie up some loose ends on the weekend. I know it was kind of a strange weekend. And then also maybe hit on what we're looking at for the week ahead. I've got some things that are seriously on my radar, and literally, we haven't really talked or anything about this show, so I'm letting you know. Kind of, I just shot you
Thanks.
a link, like, "Hey, jump on." Um, so yeah, that's what the show is, and so you might be thinking of that as we dive into this through the evening. It's not going to be one of these marathon shows because but I feel like this is probably a good thing to do starting every Sunday night, just where we can at least brainstorm some things on what we would like to accomplish and or maybe discuss from the week that just passed, and then what to look forward to. So
I like that idea because it's now that we have hit 6 months, I feel like with some things and, we're with this case, it's like you've spent the first 6 months maybe doggy paddling through and wading through all of the craziness and trying to figure out everything that you can in a flurry. And then you kind of hit this lull, and then now's the time to really start getting strategic and between revisiting things, seeing how things are developing in court, and as other chips start to fall or we start shaking more trees, then we can do that really strategically.
yeah, absolutely. Um, So what I'm wanting to do is let's take it from the top. I want to show Barron right off the bat. This was look, I'm not a lawyer. I understand things in the criminal justice system from a different lens that say like Barron or someone like would understand it. But Barron brings up some really good things tonight, and I really want to hone in because this is something that I felt in my gut as I was listening, especially this past hearing where you and Matt with Trigger Smart were covering it live. I was watching y'all's live stream, and these are just some feelings that I have in my gut, in my head. And I actually put out a post on Twitter. I kind of did a flurry. I do that. I kind of do a flurry of posts sometimes. That was no exception. Was it Friday or was it Thursday?
Friday the
Was it
third. I
Friday?
think it was. I
It
think
was
it was
Friday.
Friday. The 13th.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Friday the 13th. So just things that are in my gut that we're not setting right. I made a post about it, and then Barron is hitting on it tonight. So if you don't mind, let's just jump right in with Barron. And this was his show. It's actually still going on live right now. But I'm just going to take it from the portion where Barron talks about the latest filing. This is actually from the media group, but they're addressing the ballistics report and some bullet fragmentation.
I want to go to a motion that was recently unsealed in the Tyler Robinson case. And I want to raise a couple of issues that I see in the motion. The first issue is that this motion should have never been sealed in the first place. I think the judge is allowing things, and I just pulled the case file today. The judge has so many filings under seal. It's not proper. It can't be proper. This is inappropriate. It should not be happening. The judge needs to get control over this case. He's letting the lawyers walk all over him. So that's the first thing I want to raise. The second thing is, in this motion is disclosed something we didn't know. And it has to do with a bullet fragment, a bullet jacket fragment that was recovered during the autopsy. So I want to get to this. Let me see if I can make this a little larger here for you. So this is a motion filed by the news media. And you got a list of all the people here. Salt Lake Tribune, you got some podcasters, you got some, I don't know who these people are, but newspapers, local news stations, just a whole smattering of people, national people, CBS Broadcasting. I mean, there's a lot, there's big and small in here. But this is the news media's memo opposing the motion to classify the defendant's motion. So the defendant files a motion, Tyler Robinson. He says, we want this motion under seal. The defense files the motion to keep it under seal, which I think is lunacy, by the way. I'll explain why in just a second. The state comes by and says, what are you talking about under seal? This should not be sealed. This is not proper, judge. And then the news media jumps in and says, hell no, this isn't proper. So they come on the record. You got this motion to seal all these things. And he says, the lawyer here says the news media was unable to thoroughly address the merits because defense counsel refused to provide the underlying motion to the counsel, meaning it's so sealed, we won't even give it to the lawyers. That is an absolute, it is such bad faith on the part of the defense. The court finally had to rule and order the defense counsel to turn it over, and they finally did. So I'll say right there, I am rapidly losing faith in Tyler Robinson's defense team, if only because of some things that are disclosed in here. Mainly, everything in here tends to, I'll just spoil the surprise. I'll go ahead and tell you up front what the conclusion is. Everything in this motion tends to exonerate Tyler Robinson. If I'm the defense counsel, baby, I am running with that. I'm providing copies to all media outlets and podcasters. I'm broadcasting it. I mean, you can't go and hold a press conference and say, see, we told you so. Here's all the exonerating evidence. You can't do that. But if you have evidence that's exculpatory in nature, why would you want that hidden?
I'm going to press pause because, I mean, this has been in my gut all along. Is I know without a shadow of doubt that the defense has every fact on their side. It blows my mind that they would want to keep things hidden, concealed. I mean, I would go so scorched earth on things that it would make the prosecution look absolutely ridiculously stupid, if not like corrupt and culpable for this blunder that they're doing. Okay. That was my number one. Like with all of this secrecy and stuff, unless they haven't seen the good videos yet that we all have, and I'm talking like the fact that the dude doesn't go up to the edge of the roof, he takes off running, and I do not believe that's Tyler up there. Okay, like I really don't think it's somebody else. There's no rhyme or reason for this. Like to say that we're just going to, I mean, this thing is drug on, in my opinion, 5 months too long. I mean, they should have recognized that Tyler Robinson was just like George Zinn and a patsy. Here's the problem, though. They had no one else to go and arrest. Like, they didn't have any other patsies. So guess what? They got to keep him on the train, baby. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes, if you have culpability, if you're a defendant and you're like, I'm never, if a good attorney is never going to ask you if you did it or not. But if you're really, really innocent, like, I mean, really, really, really innocent, and you can prove it, or there's people out here in social media world that are literally doing the work of defense consultant type of stuff, like investigating for the defense. You're screaming at the top of your lungs. I mean, especially if you're doing time in SEG, which is probably where he is, if he's there at all.
Right.
You're screaming at the top of your lungs. I mean, I don't think you don't, unless you've done time in solitary confinement in SEG, where there's just you in a cell. Like the kid should be going stir crazy. He should be looking. Do you remember? I'm just pulling this out of a thought of the Colorado shooter in the
theater case,
theater
shooting case? Yeah, James Holmes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
I remember it all too well.
Fried and frazzled and just kind of like kooky he looked. I mean, like we don't see that with Tyler. And look, we should. This is one of the main things I picked up on immediately when I saw him for the first time. This kid, he don't look like he'd been doing any time in SEG or in the shoe or anything like that. Something's off.
He only looked he looked sickly that one time. Maybe it was the last time that we saw him, if that was that in December or early January, and then I guess we haven't been able to really see his face.
He's gone. He's out of picture, which is strange. I mean, I guess they're wanting to not show the shackles or something of that nature.
And then of course we had, the local press, violating and pushing the limits and then violating what had been asked of them. So
blatantly. I mean, look, it's not rocket science
either.
No, they weren't doing any favors. It's not rocket science. I mean, you just don't hone in on conversations and sit there and watch them talk or try to zoom in on, computer screens, which once again, is it Jack Posobiec, that dipshit? I mean, he's over here posting a picture just a few minutes ago. I want to make sure I get the right. I get all of these dumbasses with Turning Point mixed up.
I've decided I'm calling him Cracker Jack now.
Cracker Jack?
Yeah. Yeah, because he's he just like presents things that like look good on the outside with no substance on the inside.
Yeah, it's dumbass Jack. That's what I'm gonna call him. He's posting a picture 2 hours ago. Tyler Robinson looking at a picture of Charlie Kirk in the courtroom. Here, I'll just put it on the screen real quick.
While you're pulling that up, I see this comment from Lead Me to the Bliss, and I have to wonder the same thing if Tyler actually has spent any time. That's one of those things that we don't know. Again, we're taking a leap, but is he really locked up? I don't know. I don't know.
I just know that something does not look right. I mean, look at this right here. You've got Kathy, you got Tyler, and they are looking at underneath the tent as Charlie. This is actually, you know whose evidence this is? Or who provided this?
TPUSA.
No, this is Christian Anderson. Or
Oh, really?
Christian, is it Christian Anderson? Christian. Yeah, that is, I'm almost certain. Well, let's remember this look. So we have Charlie, this is him walking out throwing hats.
Mm-hmm. So I couldn't remember if maybe that was
Christian
a picture
Overton.
that Andrew. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I was
this is
maybe
this
was
is
a
Overton.
photo from
Yeah,
Andrew.
So they're looking. So they're. Was this just the other day?
No, I think that would have been the time that the media got in trouble because they had blatantly photographed and captured what was on the computer screen, and that was very inappropriate.
I thought that how many cameras are in the courtroom that are? Is there a still photograph like?
Yes, there should be a still
like this, and then someone that's got a video camera.
A still photographer and a video photographer as well, like a TV photographer. And
the one that we were looking at was straight diagonal or just right next. We were getting a profile look, but that was video. So this makes sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that would have been earlier on.
I mean, do you see these shenanigans?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yep.
There's no other reason for this.
I mean, they know better. Here's the thing. They know better. They know better from being in TV and, covering cops in courts. Whoever gets assigned to be that pool camera, they are covering on behalf of the other TV stations. They're covering on behalf of the other print entities, or at least I can speak for the TV folks. And so that way they're not having a whole entire line of cameras. It's one pool feed usually that is dispersed out to all of the other TV outlets. And, they're going to put someone in there who is experienced enough, who's not going to mess it up. But, clearly they did time and time again.
Yeah. So back to, we kind of went off, which I love it. Like we just kind of take off down some trails and we're going to wind our way back to the main trail.
Because I do want to mention as well, before we get too far off of it, about what my thought could be on why the defense might be trying to, keep some of these documents out of public sight.
You want to wait until we go through the Barron explanation and kind of, and then you can kind of give, let's do that. So anyways, my point on this with what Barron just said is, I think like someone that's been through the system, these attorneys think like, oh, we're going to do things, like attorneys do. And there be like this, kind of, they're cordial to one another, blah, blah, blah. And I say go scorched earth. If you're truly in it, like you've got to go scorched earth on everything, because you're just going to just mess away months and years and things like that. If you're just like, oh, I'm going to let the attorneys all do their little attorney thing. No, attorneys, they're all going to they're not going to go scorched earth, unless you have just a really, really, really good defense attorney. To where this thing's nipped in the bud immediately. For the most part, no, they're all, in my opinion, looking out for one another. They're like, they all see each other at the country club type of thing and play that kind of back room game together. And hey, you help me on this one, I'm going to help you on this one, you help me on that one. It's such a bullshit system. So anyways, I'm going to hit play and we'll keep on rolling.
Why? The other side is going around saying it was Tyler Robinson and Tyler Robinson alone. It would be nice to have a little press in favor of your guy. I want to show you the key here. The underlying motion and the evidence it discusses belie any argument that the public access would lead to bias in tainting the jury pool. In other words, that's what the defense counsel argued. If we file these things in the open, the press is going to get a hold of it. And it's just going to make our client look guilty. Well, one, that's not a reason to seal something. This is not North Korea. We don't try people in secret. If you have a better reason, bring it. But hey, it makes my guy look bad is not one of them. All criminal charges make your guy look bad. But here the media is saying that's not even going to hold up. The underlying motion attaches a 4-page ATF report. This is a federal government report, a 4-page ATF report on a comparison between a bullet jacket fragment recovered during an autopsy of Charlie Kirk and a rifle recovered by law enforcement. So this is multiple things that need to be discussed. One is this is 100% bulletproof, use that on purpose, bulletproof confirmation that an autopsy exists. We long suspected it, but we've not had any legal evidence that it exists, no admissible evidence that exists. I think this qualifies. This tells us that there is an autopsy. And because there's something recovered in that autopsy that's controversial in nature and almost certainly, hopefully, will be used by the defense, the autopsy should come into evidence. So we will probably get details about what the autopsy showed. That's my guess. If this goes to trial, we probably will hear about the autopsy. So that's breaking news item number 1. Well, breaking news item number 2, really. News item number 1 is the defense is trying to hamstring their guy, and I can't understand why. I would want all the positive press I could get from my guy if I'm the defense lawyer. For some reason, his defense counsel does not, but that's neither here nor there. The second major news item is there's an autopsy. It exists, and we likely will hear about it in trial because there's something in it that each side's going to want to argue their version of. In order to argue your version of a fact in the autopsy, you've got to produce the autopsy. So we probably will see this. But what is the conclusion that the ATF report draws on the fragment? The result of the comparison was inconclusive. In other words, this bullet fragment was examined by the ATF, probably put under a microscope, probably looked at all the striations on it, looked at the size, the grain, the caliber, looked at the material it was made out of. You know, inside a rifle barrel, particularly an old rifle barrel, which we're told this is an old one, you've got rust, you've got chemicals that were used to clean it, you've got scrapes that are made on it when you're cleaning the rifle barrel. You might have certain types of pollens and dusts and things like that. The bullet will twist. Different barrels have different twist rates depending on what grain you're shooting. Well, your grain should adapt to the twist rate of your barrel, rather. Your grain should be selected based on the twist rate of your barrel. Let me word it that way. And then that twist will leave certain marks on a bullet as it travels out of the barrel. The chemicals in the barrel will fuse to the bullet because of the intense heat and pressure. It will all become one. It will plasticize onto that round. And then you can recover that bullet. You can examine the rifle barrel and you can make comparisons. Could this bullet have been fired from this barrel? This says it's inconclusive. I think that's probably very favorable. I think it's very favorable. I think it means it probably wasn't fired from that barrel, which raises a whole nother set of issues. We're not going to get to that. Well, we might touch on it here in a second. Here's the key, though. Defense counsel does not explain how this evidence could taint or bias the jury pool. Well, I mean, it could, but it could do it in favor of your client. So why on earth are you hiding this from people? This is the good news. This is what you want people talking about. You want people like me, Blake Bednarz, Candace Owens, Ian Carroll. You want people going on podcasts. You want people going on the news and saying, why doesn't this bullet match? This should be a no-brainer. This should be obvious. Why is it not matching? Probably because it's fake. Probably because the bullet wasn't fired out of that rifle. Probably because the bullet was a fragment recovered from something else and stuffed into Charlie Kirk while they had complete control over him in a car. That'd be my guess. I had to take a stab at what happened. I should have said take a shot at what happened, but I screwed that one. Instead, the defense argues the evidence is exculpatory, meaning exculpatory evidence tends to say your guy didn't do it. And here is the quote from their brief, the defense brief. The bullet jacket fragment evidence in this case is material exculpatory evidence within the meaning of Trombetta and not merely potentially useful evidence within the meaning of Youngblood, because here the ATF examination has already revealed that firearms, not just rifles, produce a general rifling characteristics similar to those observed on the Exhibit 6A bullet jacket fragment, include numerous makes and models, and that an examination of individual characteristics did not reveal incriminating evidence. The evidence thus possesses an apparent exculpatory value. Again, you have exculpatory evidence and you're hiding it? You're not letting us see it? You're not wanting us to look at it? Why? Why? I mean, granted, it's probably improper, if we're being honest. It's probably improper to try to taint the jury pool. But both sides do it in every public case. It's just natural. Both sides do it. Lawyers get up there. I am so confident my guy didn't do it. We can't wait to get to trial and prove our case. You're tainting the jury pool. That's what you're doing. That's the point of your statement. I look at this, and the defense lawyer in me says, I can't understand what they're doing. The skeptic in me says they don't want this out there. I sat here and did my little thing where I look at the wall. I look at that wall. I look at it a lot. The skeptic in me says, if they're trying to pressure him or prepare him to accept a plea deal, they don't want his family. They don't want his friends, and maybe not even him to know the existence of this exculpation. They don't want him, his family, his friends, the news media, the podcasters. They don't want anyone to know this exists. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to have it in the hopper as they push this thing towards trial on the off chance it ends up in trial, and they want to do their best to get their guy off. But they don't need the added pressure and the added questions if he ends up taking a life without parole deal. And people go, what do you mean? The bullet didn't match. Because that's the first thing I'm going to say if he takes a deal. What are you doing? The bullet doesn't match. The bullet doesn't match. And you got witnesses saying the shooter had long hair. And you have a gun that, when's the last time he shot that gun? And who zeroed it in? And how did he get it on the roof? I don't see it. Like, there's so many questions, but the bullet doesn't match is a massive question. It's a massive hole in the prosecution's argument. It's a massive hole in the Fedslop narrative. It is a problem. But if you're trying to reserve the right to talk your guy into a plea, for whatever reason, I'm not going to speculate as to why they might want to talk him into a plea, but if you're trying to preserve the right to talk your guy into a plea, this is not good information to be in the public sphere, because right now you got a problem with people like me. Because as a lawyer, I look at this and say, let's go to trial. Let's go to trial. Bullet doesn't match. Wrong bullet. Doesn't match my guy's gun. Nope. Sorry. I mean, the standard is not, well, he might have done it. That's not the standard. The standard isn't, he probably did it. That's not the standard. When you go to trial, you have to convince 12 people to all agree that there's not even any possible reasonable doubt that that guy did it. No reasonable thinking person would have any doubt whatsoever. The standard is you are almost absolutely certain of his guilt. Almost absolutely certain. Bullet doesn't match. Okay, let's go home. He's off. Why didn't the bullet match? It's a real problem. And so I think the only possible outcome I can come up with of why the defense doesn't want this out there is if they plead, they don't want to look bad. That's it. That's the best I can come up with. If someone can come up with something better, email me, realbrandpodcast@gmail.com. Here's another thing you're not thinking of. I'll be happy to review it. If I'm wrong, if you change my mind, I'll go forward with it.
Slick Dog, welcome to the show. Can you hear us all right?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me? I wasn't expecting this because we were just texting. So I have a face for radio right now, and
brother, you're good. We hear you 5x5. You're good. Kelly's in here. Thanks for joining us.
Okay. I mean, if next time I can do, there's actually, I have access to a podcast studio that I could look all professional like you guys do if you want sometime.
Man, you don't have to do that, but that sounds really nice.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, professional looking is pretty relative today for me, at least. So yeah, good to hear you. Good to hear you.
Well, Slick, what's your drop on this?
Okay. it's easy to get really into the weeds on the case generally with all these different filings. And I'm not being I don't mean to be critical of Barron. I think that there's one thing that he just got wrong, and I think that there's a history that would might put thing in context. The biggest picture that, like, you know, is the ATF report, which is apparently part of a exhibit filed with Tyler's motion. That was, I haven't read the motion yet because it's under seal. As you know, those requests to keep the motions under seal have been lifted. All right.
This is the 4-page you're talking about. We have the 4-page from the media, but you're talking about the actual a much lengthier.
Yeah, they're referring to Tyler's motion, which was filed under seal. And as of yesterday, it was still under seal. The judge ruled that it could not be classified as private. In other words, it's going to be made public. The judge did exactly what Barron said that he should do, which is, you know, not allow those types of filings to be made public. So that is one thing. So let me back up. What I was trying to say is I haven't read the motion yet, so I really can't. I want to read it first. I want to read the entire motion, not the one filed by the media, but the one filed by Tyler Robinson.
Give us what you're just kind of thinking, like just with all your experience.
So let me that's like, you know, the key issue. But if we rewind it all the way back in terms of what are we talking about, so we go back to January 9th. Tyler Robinson files a motion. They don't want cameras in the courtroom, right? So we're just going to assume that they have good reason for that. I'm not going to question that. They file a motion requesting that there be no cameras, no electronic media coverage for the trial. They then, on top of that, they file another motion that requests that there not only cameras be removed, but that the motion that they filed be sealed, and the motion requesting the motion be sealed, that everything be sealed, right? So we've got like multiple seals. So that those get filed, so we can't read those. Then the state gives its reply to those motions. Now, the state's reply was not under seal, and they reply both to the request to remove cameras in the courtroom and a separate reply to the motion requesting that the motion be sealed. So you see how quickly it gets. There's just multiple layers of the initial motion, and then the replies, and then the responses, and then every response gets its own reply, to which we now add a third party, which is the media. Now, they're technically not parties to the case. The judge denied that. When they wanted to be actual limited parties in the case, they, like, you know, there'd be the prosecuting, state, defense, and then, you know, the media group. The judge denied giving them official status as a party, but then in the order gave them everything that they really would have gotten as if they were a party. In other words, notice of the notice of motions, and also notice of motions that were under seal. Now, Barron had said that he thought it was inappropriate that the media was responding, that it wasn't fair to have to respond to a motion that they haven't been able to see for themselves. And he's right about that. But part of the reason was the timing of the motions, so that at that point, the media couldn't see them. In the intervening times, they requested an attorney's eyes only ability to review motions filed under seal. So if this is getting too confusing, I understand it, and it was even confusing for the judge to keep all these overlaying motions. You just got there's so many that they overlap. But go ahead, ask a question.
Do you think that the judge, with all of these things being held, in secret, is it excessive, like what Barron was describing? That
no, the judge ruled against it. The judge on Friday said, no, you cannot keep your motion to make private you can't make private your motion to kick out cameras in the courtroom. Sorry.
So you're not surprised at least that it was tried. I mean, or that it was attempted through filing a motion and the system worked because the judge struck it down.
Let's try and I want to get to that in a second. I just want to make sure that's clear. The judge didn't allow it. So Barron is saying that the judge shouldn't have allowed that. Well, when they file it under seal. The prosecution objected, so did the media. So they had a hearing. The defense lost. They have to be unsealed. I'm expecting I'll be able to see them tomorrow. So that's exactly what Barron was saying. The judge did what Barron was saying that he should have done. I don't think that there's a way to just, when you file a motion and request that it be sealed, that the judge goes, no, you can't do that, and immediately make it public.
Okay.
So they had to go through this process. You asked me a question, and I've.
Well, just so it's not necessary. So you're more just in the ballpark or the camp that it's fairly benign in nature, and that things are actually working the way they should be. You're not too alarmed with the fact that the defense is trying to be uber secretive on things in terms of.
Let's think this through, and here's I want your input. So here we have the defense is asking that court that files a motion with some exhibits making the case that there should be no public media coverage of the trial. That's their position. So they file that. It does kind of make sense that they would want the motion to be also private, just like they want all the hearings to be private, right? In other words, it would be kind of hypocritical, or it would be inconsistent. So yeah, we want cameras kicked out of the courtroom, but we're going to file this motion and have it public for all to read. So there's a logical inconsistency there. So
yeah, I'm tracking you.
You see what I mean? So that's where, and I'm not making a case for them. I'm just trying to understand their thinking. The other thing is, I find it very interesting and educational to read motions filed by the media consortium. I've said that's just been a really interesting, nerdy type of issue. but when I look at the docket, when I look at all the different filings, and I've got to choose which ones I'm going to download, and it's not because they cost $1 a piece. That it's a pain in the neck. Like, I can only do $10 at a time, so I always got to replenish it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just end up with so many documents, and sometimes you're guessing. You're looking at the title, like, oh, this looks like a good one. But when I want to read motions that are filed by the defense and the prosecution first. Things that are filed by the media are, they're just kind of extra. And so, like, this past week, I saw that. I still haven't downloaded it. I saw it was filed on the 6th, and that motion that he was saying, this motion, was unsealed by the judge. It wasn't unsealed. It was filed, I think, on the 6th and the 10th. What's the date on
that? This one is on the 10th.
Yeah,
March 10th.
So that was out there. I mean, even if I did download it, I don't know how much time I would have spent looking at it. And it's good that X is doing its job and bringing out the the sort of the ATF report. But there's been other filings with appendices that I Appendix H to the to state's motion, to Appendix H to the prosecution's response to Tyler's motion to ban cameras had some real there's some good things in those appendices.
In Appendix H.
Yeah, it was no one had. I have. I just think it's fascinating. I don't know if it's too nerdy. I'll try and send it to you if you want. It's actually in two parts. It's got if you think back, I'm getting a little off topic, but remember the the gag order.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that gag order was just a copy and paste of what's already in the Utah Rules of Professional Conduct for Attorneys, right? Oh, you got Appendix H. Oh, you got it. Did I send that to you, or did you?
No, I've got them all. I have everything on a drive.
Oh, okay. Oh, did you open up an account on?
No, I just use that other Andrea, or she's been. I rip them off of her Substack.
Oh, okay.
Gary's.
That's okay. I'm like, I buy them. So, and I know you've given, Slick Dog, you've helped me out too in the past, but sometimes I hate to bother you. So I'm like,
yeah, no, that's fine. So, yeah, I mean, it's good that everyone's doing this. I think, I mean, that this is a way that we, from the crowdsource, we keep people public. I just thought there was a lot of cool stuff in that. And what it shows is that the prosecution office was actually they were following the rules of professional conduct even before the judge issued the gag order. In other words, they have a process. So when you look at all that, to me, and having done a lot of work with organizations and setting up processes and procedures, it strikes me that this is an office that on a normal business, a normal day, kind of has its act together in terms of processes and procedures until you get Mr. Big Shot Attorney Chief Prosecutor Gray comes along and, creates havoc and declares that they're going to seek the death penalty, 10 seconds after they've arrested him, when they had a long time to wait to study their case. So I think, I've said this before to you, Blake, and to some others, I'll bet he's not a very popular boss in that office.
No, I mean, he's you talk about a stressful environment. I mean, can you imagine the stress? I mean, this is not
him as the boss. Oh, I can't.
Yeah, this is not ideal. I mean, you're talking about. I know they're out over their skis. I know without a shadow of doubt, the avalanche is sweeping them up. I mean, this is a slow motion avalanche, and I see they're all together on the slopes going down Park City together and Jeff Gray's leading them. And I think they're going to get swallowed up by an avalanche.
Yeah. And then on top of that, they're trying to pull teeth from the FBI and ATF getting the rest of the evidence. I mean, that was the takeaway for me from
that's incredible. Let's not
lose sight of that. I mean, is just.
You remember seeing Kash Patel, though, right? I mean, Kash Patel goes on news outlets here. It feels like it was around Christmas. My time frame since COVID has I don't think it'll ever come back to normal. I don't have any reference to time, but I remember Kash Patel on Fox News doing his little thing of like, hey, that's now a state case. Like, don't ask me. That's state of Utah. And clearly that's not the case now, right?
Yeah, it was like he's trying to throw him under the bus because he knows they have a bad case, and he's just gonna.
He wanted to distance himself, though. He wanted to distance himself, yet he couldn't fully distance himself. I mein, in my opinion, because
I think you're right.
He had to be involved because of the puppet strings above, helping to put everything in motion. And of course, the way that they made the FBI immediately, all descend upon UVU and, find the gun and go send things off for testing and all that, which apparently, we're still having difficulty getting, all of these reports back and whatnot. But to your point, Blake, I think it's very interesting that he had said at the time, oh, the FBI, is throwing its full resources,
Right.
all, anything and everything they need, we are there. So you would really think that they were just prioritizing it, just lickety split. Maybe not so much.
Do they not realize that, like, they've got people like me doing podcasts now talking about this stuff? Like, this is not going away. This is actually becoming more and more popular as the exciting stuff starts to really now come to fruition with Tyler Robinson and court cases. I mean, I really think,
Yeah, and Barron. It's not just Candace kicking off things like it was in September, October. Now, I mean, there's a
yeah,
lot.
look at everyone. Yes, I mean, it's still. I mean, there are people that migrated towards doing more Epstein, right? Especially on X. But for the most part, I mean, this is still a very, very popular driving topic. And I don't see it going anywhere until there's a resolution, because we refuse to let this become, and I'll use Brian Harpole's words, another JFK.
Why did he say that?
Strange, huh?
Why did he have to say like that was his first thought?
Yeah. Is that not weird that that's what he thought about?
I mean, it's like a Freudian slip, essentially.
Oh,
Yeah.
He is a walking Freudian slip, that guy.
Yeah.
Like, literally, he's a walking Freudian slip, because he even said shaped charge by accident in,
Right.
like, literally, like, you
He
dumbass.
almost kind of gestured, the
Yeah.
shape.
Did he say? Did he really
Oh,
say shape charge?
yes,
yeah,
bro. Yes.
shape, I mean, it came 3/4 out of his mouth for sure, like shape.
And then he realized real quick, he's like, oh shit, I shouldn't, that word hasn't been spoke yet in this conversation. I don't need to say that, because yeah, I mean, literally, Slick, he did it right there.
But he could
I'll
count
play
on
it here in a
Sean
little bit.
Ryan to, carry him
Oh, yeah.
through and over the bridge, no matter what. However he was going to trip and stumble, Sean Ryan was going to be there to pick him up and carry him.
It's like,
right
let me
through.
real quick on this comment here. I completely agree. All courtrooms in every state, every city, everywhere should require by federal law cameras on every one. We pay for those courtrooms. We ought to be able to see everything. I could not agree more, especially in these cases here that involve adults with adult matters. If there's stuff with children, of course, that needs to be taken into context. But for the most part, on all of these instances, especially these high profile, I mean, that literally should be the furthest thing from both attorneys, both sides' minds, is that we're going to be able to somehow get the cameras out of here. It should be the most transparent process, because that's where you eliminate all the funny business between prosecutors, defense, and possibly a judge or something.
Right.
It is the accountability.
Whether it is actual funny business or perceived funny business, because remember, the state, it's the state. The state is the people, and so I agree with that. But I will say, when you read, and when I've read other motions by the defense for closure, they make serious legal arguments. These are not frivolous. They are not frivolous, and I expect that when I can see the motion is unsealed, it will be the same. But when you turn and read the state's response, it just blows away. They did it's a 30-page brief with, I don't know, 10 exhibits, table of contents, citation, table of authorities. They wrote this. The state wrote this like they were writing an appellate court brief. They will probably, that will be, if this got appealed somehow.
Right.
And they made a very clear statement that the state wants it wants it public, and I credit them for that. But I don't.
I
I'm
think
not-
they're gesturing. I think it's posturing. I think it's being they're just kind of playing into that because once again, Slick, I do not believe that they have any intention at all for this thing actually literally to go to a trial with a jury being set.
I don't see how this makes it to trial. I really don't. And my hope is that at the preliminary hearing goes so poorly that it can't even get past what is a very low threshold. I don't think there will be any type of plea agreement until after May, until after that preliminary hearing. But Blake, we both saw how there's a possibility that that hearing could be delayed because of the game that the FBI is showing. And to me, I worry that that is more time that Tyler could be at risk for being.
I'm genuinely worried about his safety. I genuinely am.
Yeah, I am much more worried about that than I am
because Slick. I mean, but everyone here, everyone watching, there's no hidden thing when it comes to me on what I believe and what I have let out that I know. And I'm telling you, like, if you're just talking about an end game here, it does not end well for the state. And if this thing drags on, they're going to be, look, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, sir.
And that's scary.
And look at, and I'm probably biased as an attorney. I am overly defensive of the prosecutor's office as a group of attorneys. I am not concerned about, there is bad judgment by Attorney Gray. I am not, the prosecution are not the investigators, but where I do think there is just endless unanswered questions is on the investigation side, where there is plenty of ample room for mischief. And
what does that look like, Slick? And I appreciate that. I have a different opinion, but that's because I'm in a different point of view.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And so what's the process look like where, like, who speeds up the FBI or ATF? Like, how does that work? I mean, you're talking about now a state agency cooperating with a federal agency that has absolutely no federal skin in the game. Like, I don't, how does this all jive? Or do you think, how do you think it jives?
Well, look, I'm sorry. I'm going to answer. Can I'm like, yeah, I want to dive in real quick. I mean, I think, look, they've got the bat line to the White House here. Okay. And, I mean, Cash and whoever else, I mean, all these people were at Charlie's memorial service and et cetera, et cetera. Like, you can't tell me that for this case, they can't pull the strings or they haven't already pulled the strings. It's absolutely ridiculous to think that they have not prioritized. And like, what little evidence really there probably is in turn, versus like this was one shot, quote unquote shot. We're not talking about a mass shooting. We're not talking about, a very large evidence field.
So why do you think they don't have it yet?
Yeah.
It sounds, I mean, I did get the sense that there's frustration on both sides. Like, what the fuck?
Maybe they're having a tough time coming up with how they're going to fake
it.
I
mean, it sounds like the FBI's, they have a horrible case. I mean,
yeah, they're just dragging ass. Sorry.
And they're dragging ass, which just gives more time for Tyler to be Epsteined.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And frankly, once he gets, say he does, strike a deal or something, then who's to say that he's any better protected once he serves whatever level of time and then gets out,
Yeah. No, I don't think you can strike a deal that includes a witness protection type of
no
deal.
I mean, this right here, Slick, that I've got highlighted is just, I mean, it's mind blowing. I mean, they're basically saying that the bullet or doesn't match up. It's inconclusive.
I mean that's bad. But I mean that I want to know how many other exhibits there are. I want to see them all. I want to see the whole thing.
And you think we're going to be able to see at least some things drop tomorrow?
I would think it should be. I mean, it should be.
Okay.
It should be. I mean, it's unsealed. You can see how when it was originally filed on January 9th. Is that when you look at it? I'm not looking at your screen right now. So is that docket number 305?
This is from Friday.
The order.
The order, right.
Not the order, the media's
the media's response, or
on the 10th. Yeah.
Correct. Well, I guess we just play it by ear on what rolls out here within hopefully this week at least. I think we can safely assume that, and then we'll come back and talk about it. But do you not agree that, I mean, it seems like May is going to get exciting, and unless the feds just literally stonewall stuff, right? I mean, even worse.
I think May. I mean, that's the big hearing. I think that the April 17th on cameras is fun. I mean, the chances of excluding cameras, I think, is exceedingly low, and I don't think that it could even result in a point of appeal if he's convicted. Whereas with the judge's denial of the excluding, disqualifying the prosecutor's office, I think that's now a square. You know, if he's convicted and they appeal, there we have a, that's a square issue that could go up on appeal.
Awesome. Money. Well, Slick, thank you so much for joining us tonight, man. I really appreciate it. We'll be seeing you here this week on X. If you're not following Slick, he's Slick Dog on X. And thanks for joining us.
All right. Bye, Kelly. Bye, Blake.
Hi. Thanks, Slick.
Kelly, what do you think? I want to put money on George Zinn's books. I want to, help him out with commissary when he gets to prison, writing letters, like George Zinn and Tyler, I want to know what they know.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking about
Do I think Tyler's going to get our mail? No.
Well, he did supposedly talk to the Washington Post on a couple of occasions, right, a while back. So,
really, okay. Well, I don't even know where George is right now. If he's made it, if he's transported out, or if he's still there at county. It's been what, a month since he did the plea? Wasn't that in January?
Golly, yeah, it's probably been a month now.
Isn't that weird how time just it's hard to, there's so many things happening. Okay. So I believe that was all on Barron with what he had to say. So where am I at?
I had just gotten into back into the court docket, so I feel bad. I wish I could text Slick Dog and ask him if he knew what date or number he was looking for, just to see if it had been posted yet, that document. But anyway, that's okay. Because
is there new stuff after the 10th? After 310?
There is, rulings in order on classifications and closure motions, just something from the 13th.
Gotcha.
Which I think is probably what most of what had happened and what we're going over right now.
Okay. Well, so yeah, I still can't believe that Brian Harpole said shaped charge in that interview.
That was a good catch, because I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. Do you want to play it?
Sure.
It's just so freaking bizarre.
Find the pressure. My head, I'm like, pack pressure, pray, man. These what you can do for that wound. But then Frank's there because Frank's hurting, you know, and it's because
I think it's on this one right here, actually.
I'm fine. You did a good job at that. I'll certainly tell you, yeah, there's an autopsy.
How long had it been since the shot?
Or Doc told me.
Okay.
I mean, things that I already knew. She's the boss of that. That's just information. Exit wound. It was done. Do it for you. Yeah. Get the report when it comes out. It was done. It was done. Yeah. In the OR doc released statements regarding, and there has been statements regarding the bull air. And the second one was the local SO people is one of them. People look at themselves. Yeah, it happened.
Do you think that the entry wound looked like an exit wound?
No, it was an entry wound.
Why do you say that?
So one, there wasn't an exit wound because I remember rolling his head over and cleaning it so I could see if there was an exit wound. And then I was having to open the wound up some to get more and pack it. If you've ever done an exit wound, it's not that hard. It's a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can feel it when you know, the rule of kind of thumb on that one is you don't want to make it bigger, but you got to keep packing it in there. And so
36
yeah,
feet.
I've heard and seen them all.
BS.
There was a guy that said, you know, that the mic blew up.
Here we go.
It was a bomb.
Yeah, we were. I was gonna wait. Yeah, there is a guy online that is saying that the microphone may have had some type of explosive projectile inside of it.
So it wrapped around the neck and created a hole.
That's the thing that I just couldn't wrap my head around either. Is the
Yeah, it's because you're an idiot. It's because like, literally Sean Ryan, like this right here should be the biggest case for his audience to never watch his shit again. Because no one has ever once said something about it wrapping around going around the neck. I mean, they just literally, because, oh dude, this interview could have been done so well. Like this interview could have been done so well.
The accuracy that would have to take place from an explosion to actually get you in the neck. But then other people are saying that there was maybe that maybe the explosion killed him, and that in fact there's actually some camera footage that somebody has done some type of assessment on. But I mean, you cut his shirt off.
Right.
Did you see any burn marks?
So
Did
that's
you see any indication of any type of explosion?
Back it up even further to that. You've been around explosives and shape explosives and stuff like that. It's like, what do you have when you have that? They had that down to like frames, right?
Okay, go rewind it again. You gotta rewind it again. All right, everybody, listen up. Listen up.
This is the biggest. Oh fuck! I just screwed up. He literally just said shape charge.
He goes shape.
He did. He kind of went shape.
Oh, shape.
All right, here we go. Like he did. He tried to play it off. Like you've been around explosives.
But I mean, you cut his shirt off.
Right.
Did you see any burn marks?
So
Did
that's
you see any indication of any type of explosion?
Back it up even further to that. You've been around explosives and shape explosives and stuff like that. It's like, what do you have when you have that? They had that down to like frames, right? Where was the flash?
Mm-hmm.
If that was an explosion, where was the flash?
Mm-hmm.
You have oxygen exchange to create the explosion. Where was the flash?
Mm-hmm.
Where was the char?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't exist. And so,
do you know if his equipment is assessed before it's put on?
yeah, it's actually held up there. that company.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Damn, dumbass. But you know what? It's also just how things work out. You know, like it's just how things work out with these things, where you do have little slip ups, and I can't believe they didn't cut that out. I mean, they clearly had about a week of edit time on this, and yeah, I can't believe they didn't cut it out. It's shocking to me. Okay.
Well, and then the things that they did cut out after the fact, like Brian saying, you know, that he would have flown a drone up was it Chief Long's ass or something like that? I think they'd cut that quote, some of the other good ones.
Okay, you were going to go in with a thought after the we played the Baron segment. Do you want to finish that up, and then we can go on to where I'm going to be going this week?
Sure. Yeah. No, I was just wondering, and I wanted to, I was trying to wait my turn to speak, but if there is kind of the possibility that maybe the defense's mindset is that they wanted to save some of these documents, save some of these findings for trial to avoid tainting the jury potentially, because it's more impactful when your jury is hearing this for the first time. Now, I mean, I guess that's perhaps a risk, because you're hoping that then your client makes it all the way to the trial. But and so I'm obviously not a lawyer, and so that's a strategy move. But I was just trying to think, could there be something if there was nothing nefarious going on here, right? Which we know that the chance of that is rather small. But could that be part of it? And that they wanted to minimize the potential of the state being able to say, well, the jury pool was tainted because you let everybody know about this really important thing, and we had such a hard time finding people who weren't already biased, who hadn't already decided that there's no way that Tyler could have done it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's valid. I just know that there wasn't anything on the roof. The guy wasn't to the edge, and I don't think there was a gun up there. So, and it's plain as day that they trimmed the video because they knew they were screwed. That's why they started the roof video at 12:23:34 and not 12:23:01 or 12:17. And this is something that, when this is all said and done, depending on how this plays out, there needs to be some sort of reform that if you're going to go like a state prosecutor, if you're going to go out and speak to evidence, if you're going to say something to the world by using your words and your voice and a microphone and a camera, you better put out every single thing you're talking about and prove it. There's no difference in a prosecutor saying something to the world as fact versus just putting it out and letting us all see it. There's no difference. It is perceived in the mind the same way. The only difference is it actually allows for there to be a check and balance from the public to say, okay, everything he said in that indictment, it's true. Or we need to start operating under the pretense that the state, whoever the state is, that your prosecutors are full of shit every time they release something. What do you want? How do you want it, prosecutors? Do you want us to look at y'all with skepticism and thinking y'all are full of shit until we get to a trial? Or do you want to put out the actual stuff, put your money where your mouth is type of thing, where you put out an indictment and then you also have the supporting stuff? Because your words, no one believes them. And this is going to be a primary example that will be talked about for years on down the road, where
Yep.
we just hear talk and we know they're lying. It's just this case is it's on. I mean, there's a lot of people paying attention to it. For the most part, this happens all over the place in any city, USA, day in and day out with things.
Without people paying attention.
Yeah, because in the criminal justice system, it's not about truth and justice. It's about winning and losing. And see, the prosecution has the ultimate trump card because guess what? If they are screwed, if they're or if they're out over their skis, guess what? Oh, we'll just work a plea. We'll go for a lesser. That was a first degree. We'll go a second degree, and they don't have any priors. Man, you know what? We can go third degree, and we'll do them some 5-year sentence. You see what I mean? Like it completely screws everything up because they don't really have as strong of a case, or they're doing things maliciously. But you got a defense attorney over there, like, man, they're giving you a good deal, man. You
should probably take it. I mean, otherwise, yeah.
I mean, you don't know what that jury's going to do. You don't know what that jury's going to. When in fact, if it's wrong, it's wrong, and they need to just dismiss it.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile,
it's about winning, and see, they get to count that as a win. That's a win for the prosecution. It's not about truth and justice. It's about winning and losing a court case. The prosecution should be worried about justice. Is justice being served? It's not about winning, because you might be thinking you're winning and you're not achieving justice. There's a big difference. There's a huge difference, actually. So anyways, that's my rant for tonight on that. Where are we going? This is Jesse on Fire. I've been kind of looking at the comments here. Jesse is all in. And Kelly, I'm not going to put you on the spot. Jesse came out with a multi-part series that Charlie Kirk faked his death. And it culminated this past week with, I guess this was 2 days ago. So Friday afternoon, maybe, he puts this out. And it is essentially how he outlines everything that Charlie did or how he believes Charlie faked it, why he faked it. He's using Candace Owens' new video as reference. Jesse on Fire well, first off, let me say, we have agreed, he and I, to a debate, and it will be one lit-ass debate. Okay. I will let everyone know when that happens, because I can assure you I will be bringing 7 shades of smoke on him. Okay. I know he talks about having like shades of jujitsu, like literally it will be one of the most epic debates that I don't need. Like he'll have to wear sunglasses like for eternity, because it'll hurt his eyes so bad. Like this is not going to go well. I will put out also, and I'm going to help him out. I don't want him to have to do this because I don't want to make him look ridiculous. So I'm going to put out a video, or we're going to address this tomorrow, where I go through his little series, his part series, and I'm going to absolutely just be like, dude, what's wrong with you? Like literally, what's wrong with you? It'll be this same format where I do it on a stream, and we're just going to go through it point by point. And it actually will be enjoyable, because there's things in here that just don't make a lick of sense and that are just flat out wrong. And so if after that is done and he still wants to debate, we'll do it, because I can promise you, he might think he's got this McCash guy, but I have people that McCash looks up to, that McCash has probably pictures of on his wall, that McCash strives to be. I have those people in contact that are in Hollywood, and it is a whole nother thing. So if we want to go there, we'll go there. And we all see the little scenes of a puppy dog running with his tail between his legs. That will be the equivalent of little Jesse on Fire. Like Jesse will need an ice bath after this, because he's going to be literally, it'll be like smoking. it's not going to end well. But we're going to do it. I'm excited. This needs to happen. Okay. So that's going to be at the first part of the week where I address all of this stuff. I mean, like, he spent a lot of time on it. I mean, but he's getting clicks. So I guess that's good. I mean, he's got way more subscribers than I do. But man, like, can you imagine 100,000 people of his 606,000 subscribers? They look at this and like, I ask myself, are there literally like 95,000 people that like believe this shit?
Look,
And
you
I
know,
told you, Kelly, I'm not going to put you on the spot. And
no, I mean, for me, but you know that I have been on this theory since, generally speaking, this theory for months and months and months and months, like since you've ever known me. So,
can I play this real quick?
Sure.
Look at them.
Now,
compared.
this doesn't mean that I
There
subscribe
seems to
to
be
everything Jesse subscribes to.
Hold on,
Okay.
Now look at this though. On the other side, very strong jawline. No indication of a grapefruit under his skin. Look at them compared. There seems to be something over there, but only on one side. And that happens to be the side that he is going to get shot in. Last one. Look at how strong his jawline is on the left picture and on the right. There very much seems to be something different over there. Now, adding a couple more to demonstrate that on another day, his neck looks normal. Every single other day that I looked at, his neck looks normal, except for 9/10.
Is that true, Kelly?
That his neck looks normal or looks different in comparison to every day. Sorry, it was delayed it was glitchy over here for me.
Okay. So Jesse on Fire says that this right here, Jesse is stating that Charlie never has this happen to his neck anytime else ever before, except on September the 10th. Is that a true statement?
On this like lower part, I have gone back and looked, and I have a real hard time finding something that looks identical to that. I've seen him make a jaw movement, like kind of move his jaw like that, but that I haven't seen that like lower part look like that.
Okay, hold that thought.
I know you, I think you've shown me something before that you feel that you have, but do you know when this was from?
Not off the top.
Sourcing on this?
It's just one of his debates. I can find it exactly. Or I tell you what, let's do one better. We'll do one better because I've got these ready to go. Okay, hang on one second.
Elizabeth said there are tons of them, so she knows how to get in touch with me too. She can equip me with a whole slew of them to catch me up.
Okay, here we go. Where is the Kirk playlist? Right there. Okay. Now we're back in business. Bam.
Right now. Come on. You
Not right
won't. No, just kidding.
Purpose. That's exactly right. Because again, I believe we are living through the suicide of the West. And young people, especially, they see it, they feel it, they know that something unjust has happened to them. They know that they are being plundered by the elites and by their elders. And right now, the
He just did
conservative
it.
movement is really a meeting point of a lot of those concerns. And our agenda is one that actually resonates at a deep fundamental level, because a lot of problems with the conservative movement, but at least we are still more in tune with the natural law and how we as human beings should live. The left is at war with that.
When you're on campus, do you ever feel unsafe when it gets to this?
Parents.
Or wild boys.
Exactly.
They're wild.
And the scriptures say this repeatedly, which is that if you do not fear the justice of your parents,
He just did
then,
it. He just did
for
it.
example, if you talk to kids who didn't
hold
do
on,
drugs growing up,
I
you say,
didn't
why
see
not?
it.
My
Can you
mom-
rewind then?
Who are you going to fear? If you don't fear your parents, who are you going to fear?
Yeah, you should fear God and your parents. And by the way, there's that's biblical. Now think about
Don't
this.
spare the rod.
No, this is very important, that kids that do not fear the retribution of their parents.
Or wild boys.
Exactly.
They're wild.
And the scriptures say this repeatedly, which is that if you do not fear the justice of your parents,
He just did it.
then
He just
for,
did
for
it.
example, if you talk to kids who didn't do drugs growing up, you say, why not? Oh, my mom would kill me.
Okay. I mean, that didn't look
Parents, who are you going to
Yeah,
fear?
you
you
should
know.
fear God and your parents. And by
like I saw
He just
a
did it.
little bit, but it
Like your book coming out, which I want to get into this. There is a revolution going on right now.
I pray and I see.
Okay.
parts of it
Just
too.
did
I
it.
really agree. I think there's a recentering, which is why I wrote the book. So the book is called Right Wing Revolution. People can pre-order it right now. And the argument is actually
Say that that's the first.
difficulty, where the better way to teach the gospel is, here's the 10 commandments. How many of these are you violating? Oh, you deserve to go to hell. And you probably will, unless you give your life to Christ. That is the proper way to evangelize. And so I realized the stakes in 5th grade. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm a sinner. I'm selfish. I'm broken. And only thanks to Jesus's perfect sacrifice, coming and living a perfect life, that I get something I do not earn, but has been given to me, this free gift of eternal life.
Fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
As it says in Proverbs, that's right.
But
yeah, I mean, I feel like I
Lord,
too,
my-
like Christy said, I feel like I'm trying to see something that I'm not readily seeing. I mean, maybe
That's yes or no. Have you ever eaten an egg before?
yeah,
Scrambled.
it's-
Okay, so would that be you scrambled a full chicken?
Well, hold on. Oh, you understand that it takes an egg to be fertilized?
Right.
Yeah.
But Your
Yeah,
point,
so-
the whole
so-
point you're making.
Well,
Is
hold on.
that
So,
a
but no,
baby-
since we're doing pop quiz on like human development, aren't native-born Americans too quickly with no checks, no background, no idea who they are?
He just did it right there.
flood
He
them
just did it
into
right there.
towns.
I
think
didn't. Okay, hold on.
Diversity is not a strength when it comes to local community ties.
If you don't use it, I don't know that you're committed to finding its strength.
Hold on. No, explain this to me. This is a good question.
Yeah.
What country has ever grown stronger the more divided?
Okay. If someone's in the chat, I will pay you $1,500 if you will compile the biggest. All of these videos are on YouTube. Okay. If someone reach out to me, and if someone will go in, please compile every single video. Like there's hours of Charlie debating. Please go in and compile that. I will pay you $1,500 for all of this, okay? For y'all to do. I just don't have time to do it, okay? But it's there. It's on YouTube. Like these people know this too. Like Jesse knows this. Like there's no excuse for it, Kelly. To say that for Jesse to say this.
Look, I'm not resting my entire thing on one photo of a neck thing. I just thought you were going to have something that was like blatantly obvious. And so I was entertaining that. That's all.
Reginator, no, you don't have to drive. Oh, if you're close enough, yeah, come on. But you don't have to drive to Lubbock. There's something called Venmo. So the fact is, everybody knows that Charlie did this thing with his neck. Do you think he doesn't?
No, I've already acknowledged that he does something with his jaw. I don't know that he does something with his neck. I just need
So
to.
you don't think he
study
does
that
something
a
with
little-
his neck?
I said that he does something with his jaw, and I would need to compare them side by side. If you're wearing a prosthetic, it's going to layer on top of what you already have. So, like, it's going to accentuate what you already do a little bit more. That's all. So really it's a non-issue to me. If he had that bulge anyway, well, perhaps the bulge looks a little bit bigger, or maybe it still looks the same and it's still on the same side. If it was on the opposite side, that would be, weird. That would be an issue. But anyway, I kind of feel like we're focusing on,
Yeah.
this
Now,
So-
a little much.
We're going to be going through, or not we. I will be going through on Jesse's video here, his part series, putting it out. And if he still wants to debate after that, where I address each one of these points, we'll do a debate. But that's where it's going right now, so that we can start literally either. I don't even know how to take them serious or not, because I just need to, I'm ready to start seeing some stuff blow out of someone's neck where they can just duplicate this. The other thing that is just hot on my target, or that I'm this week focusing on, is we need to go back in and identify every single open-ended thing that Candace has discussed, and we need to identify them, and we need to all figure out kind of what's happened to it, and at least start talking about it, because the only way that we have, and I'm not talking about jets and planes and Toyotas, okay? I'm talking about big things like on October the 9th, she said that she's 100% certain that Charlie Kirk was shot from the front. What did you see to lead you to that conclusion? Why did you tell all of us that you were 100% certain of something, and then it just fall off without any sort of, hey, Candace, where'd you hear that from? How do you know? This goes back to my point about the DAs. I don't need to hear the bullshit come out of your mouth. Just show it. I understand it's got to be on an indictment and all that. I get it. But over here, when we got someone that's driving the bus of the investigation of this Truth for Charlie movement, that literally, it takes the front seat every time. We need to know these things.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you see? Who told you something? Are you hearing it from an autopsy? Are you seeing it because you have the landscaped view of behind Charlie and you can see a muzzle flash?
Yeah.
What you said 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. She was very emphatic about
Is
it.
there
But,
any wiggle room about does 100% have any wiggle room at all? Or does 100% pretty much mean y'all take this shit to the bank?
Yeah. Well, she strikes me as someone who sells and I don't know. And especially at that time, I feel like I was still in the early stages of kind of getting to know her style. I knew of her. But she clearly she sells everything, right? Sells and oversells stuff. So wouldn't be the approach that I would take, but
I don't know where that comment went. Someone just said, can they see the comment or where she says 100% and absolutely? Just a second. Screen share.
So healthy and the density was so in keep that up for just a second because it's really around here. His bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he's like the Man of Steel that we just went, something's not right. Something not right. A lot of stuff's not right. I just don't know why a surgeon would be saying something that actually only the medical examiner, somebody that specializes in forensics could really contribute. Yes, a surgeon can tell you, or actually any person with common sense can tell you that your bone density is better when you're younger. But this seemed a little bit too performative. Now, I can tell you the part that he is telling the truth about is that Charlie's neck indeed did stop the bullet without question. Okay. And this is going to dispel a lot of theories that are out there. And I'm telling you this 100%. Charlie Kirk was shot from the front and the bullet did not exit. And at least a fragment of the bullet was recovered from his neck. And I'm going to tell you exactly where it was recovered from. I have fact-checked this information from multiple sources now. I've actually been sitting on this for a little bit over a week. Right around here. So think about almost in line with your shoulder blade right in the center. Now, why is that helpful? Because it gives us a bullet trajectory, okay? We went in here where you saw that, and it was stopped, and a fragment was...
I don't know what to make of this.
And what was the date on that?
Keep that up for just a second because it's really around...
October the 9th.
And let's see. So then I'd be curious then to match that with what the date referenced in that newly published document says when it references the fragmented piece of the bullet, like when that actually came out.
And then here's my
again,
response to her right here. This is one of the videos I've said a lot.
Why and who did those 12 Israeli cell phones belong to? Okay? I don't like secrets. I don't like secrets, especially when they pertain to the public execution of my friend Charlie Kirk. Take a break and we'll come right back.
So that's my point is, I mean, this was one thing. I mean, look at me. This is November the 4th. And I'm like, I think we can all agree secrets aren't cool. Candace, can you tell us, who you spoke to on 251 about 100% the bullet being fired from the front? Because look, I mean, these are not things that are jiving with what we have on video, what she has on video. She has my original files. She has said stuff like none of this is making sense. It's hard for this to be reconciled given conversations that I've had, multiple conversations, and then what we're seeing on live shows. Okay. And we're about to start exploring that because this is not going to turn into it's time. It's time. We're going to figure out who these people are, whose side are people on, and we're going to start figuring out because guess what? It's super easy. There's the live show tab. It's probably going to become their worst nightmare is the live show tab because I can go back to any of these episodes. We can we can see exactly what was talked about. We can figure out who's doing what, who's talking to who's collabing with who is aligning with different things. Like, I mean, even AI can start drawing roadmaps. Like if you I noticed like I can kick it in on this super grok mode because I pay for the best Twitter experience. And there's like this beta version that does some crazy shit of mapping and stuff. And so that's what we're about to start doing. I'm going to open it up this week, and we're just going to take it through some of the things that are, in my opinion, pressing or that are important when it comes to the investigation that Candace has talked about. Like the vehicle. Do you remember the vehicle I'm talking about? The one that supposedly someone flashed a federal badge, FBI badge to? Do you remember that, Kelly?
Yep. Oh, of course I remember that. And
did you hear about it ever again?
Heard about it. No.
So this is my problem. And look, I'm
I'm
sure there is I'm sure there is an honest explanation from Candace on why it just goes by the wayside. But in the same breath, she's the one that everyone's sending all of this shit to. So are you really the best one to just kind of like, you know, like mine, and I'll get to it when I'm ready? You know, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, there's things that I am having to tell her, or I remember telling her that, I mean, I was just like, and I get it. Like she's a small show. I can only imagine what you got, like the world emailing you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get it, but like that's concerning. You know, we have literally not revisited that vehicle, and I'm curious about it. You know, so
I mean, but it's also one of those things where it could be a whole lot of nothing. It could be there could be plenty of legitimate reasons for somebody to be flying in to say, oh, well, they had to go in to participate in the investigation.
Yeah, except for the fact that, I mean,
involving a white Toyota. We called something odd that happened on that day involving a white Toyota RAV4. The story goes, obviously everybody's eyes are peeled, looking for anything unusual, looking for the suspect on this manhunt. And there's an officer who catches a speeding car shortly after the shot is fired, and this officer is convinced that this is the killer. Like this, I'm going to be in hot pursuit of this killer. The officer pulls over the Toyota RAV4, and when the officer gets to the window, the driver of the RAV4 flashes an FBI badge. I am telling you the exact truth of what was communicated to me, and I would like to confirm the story.
I'm not buying the innocent explanation. I think that person was with the dude that was running on the roof. I think that's why they zoomed in as well.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because they were trying to show us a better picture. We can all zoom in our own. I think it's because they were deliberately trying to pull a fast one. So in my opinion, the Fed badge being flashed is very much relevant, and it needs to be absolutely explored, and there needs to be more answers to it, because remember, we're supposed to be told that Tyler just did all of this on his own. We've got an accomplice right here. You know, like this was an operation. I've got other guys. I mean, I haven't even gotten to all of them yet that are 100%. They're working an operation. They're picking up pieces of fragments and explosive that have flown away from Charlie, that are in the crowd. Like, who are these people? This is not going away, and they're all on video. So this needs to be revisited, you know. And the way that I only did a small snippet of this episode from her December 17th live stream, but she goes into a whole thing that LE from Orem contacted her. You know, where are those people? I mean, like, if you're one of those guys that reached out to Ken, I mean, get in touch with other people for the love of God, please. Like, we got to figure this out. I mean, who is this? Remember, state of Utah, you're trying to kill one of your own sons, a 22-year-old. You're trying to lethal inject him. I am reaching out. I'm trying to pull on the heartstring of this loving LDS Mormon community there, this state that is just Mormon. And I know I have friends that are Mormon in LDS, and they're good people. Where are you good people in Utah? For the love of God, start doing something. This is not right. If you are truly in this, like, you have a compassionate Christian heart, like, what's up? What is up? It's crazy to me. I get mad. Like, this makes me angry because I know this is not right. So anyways, Kelly, do you have anything you're working on this week? And she's gone. I hadn't even been looking at her. I don't know where she went. If there's anything that, regarding any of these topics that you guys would like for me to look into, I've got a couple of people that are helping now, and so that's going to be big. Yeah, there's just a lot of, I feel like you're like battling Turning Point. You're battling the Squibbers. You're battling, this narrative. You're like, there's all of these fights that are happening that you're trying to, like, I feel like I'm playing 6 different chessboards, right? Because not only do you have just this, you got these people over here that believe this theory that are, it's just, it's a lot. And together, I think we're all working, like, it trudges towards truth. At some point, I think we get there. But I will say this was something that I wanted to mention last night, and this will be where I leave things. But first, I see Kelly's back. Do you have anything that you're working on this week, Kelly, that you want to talk about, or are you just going to, or have you even thought that far?
Oh my gosh, I have not thought that far ahead. I'm sure that I'll get to it. I'll get to it tonight. I do have some, I think that I really want to work more on honing in, and, like, I'm at my best when I create stories and package things together in, like, a standalone thing. I really love doing the live streams and connecting with the audience and working through things, like, in real time, but I really enjoy being able to package my research together in a story format. So anyway, I'd like to do some more of that this week.
Perfect. Yeah. While I'm on the topic, if you're not following Kelly and I, or if, cross audiences here, Kelly is at Kelly Raybon and I am at Blake Bednars. And then, of course, you're probably watching us on YouTube, but these are both of our channels. Please like and subscribe, because like I've said before, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be continuing this journey. It seems to not be losing attention, but some of the accounts that were prominent that we're talking about it, I've noticed are not talking about it as much, but there is very much so just as much interest with just us normies out here. So we're going to keep doing it, right? Because it's the right thing to do. And I'm going to leave it with this thought right here. And this is just how I would address the squib crowd. Okay. The strategy when it comes to really achieving something of change is this. If you're going to be smart about it, you've got to set aside the fact that He's wearing a prosthetic, all of this stuff that can't be proven, that's nowhere on any photograph, anywhere, no video. Even last night, I heard someone talk about that's leading this charge. He's like, I don't even know what the hell's out there. Like, it's this pipe dream. Okay. It's this fantasy floating mountain you see in Avatar as they're flying on their little magical dragons with their tails and doing stuff. That's what this squib theory is. It's a floating mountain in Avatar. Okay. Until we've got something concrete, you have to set aside the fact that you're watching a animated movie, something fake, your theory's not going anywhere, and adopt something that's going to actually instrument and make change. What is that? That something exploded under his shirt and that a gun was not fired at UVU. What will that do? Well, Tyler Robinson will have his aggravated murder charge dismissed, and the investigation opens right back up to find out who put the device or who is responsible for allowing Charlie to wear that, and also who detonated it. And I can actually help the state of Utah do this in probably about 35 minutes by showing them absolutely everything. And I mean everything. I can tell them who to go round up Terrell, go round up Philip, go round up Brian. Yeah, it might even round up Hunter Kozak, because Hunter Kozak is the one who signaled over to Brian. And you get them all in all these little rooms at the police station or sheriff's office, these little crazy rooms. They got no windows on them. They got weird shit on, like, it's cold. You go get them a Diet Coke, make them drink a Diet Coke with some Cheetos. And you get the meanest motherfucking lawman in the state of Utah. And here in Texas, we got something called Texas Rangers. And it's not the baseball team. No, they wear cowboy boots and they wear like revolvers on their hip. And these Texas Rangers will come in, and if you don't believe in God, by the time they're done with you, you're on your knees before Jesus. It's that effective. And you get this badass in Utah to go into each one of these rooms, and you basically tell them, y'all start singing, bitches. Who put you up to it? Who is in charge here? Whose idea was this? You're dangling like a 40-year sentence over them. Terrell, you are obstructing a aggravated murder assassination. You are obstructing. Like, we're enhancing this to a first degree. You're looking at 5 to 99. I don't care what your last name is. I don't care if you have a mountain named after you, which he does in Utah. There's Mount Farnsworth. I don't care about that. Like, they will start singing. I promise you. So what's my point? What's the invitation to the squibbers of this? Okay. Like, what am I getting at? At that point, at that come to Jesus moment for the people that just got rounded up, if Charlie is alive and they were all in on faking his death, I can promise you, Charlie Kirk will come running to the cameras if all this starts going to hell in a handbasket. That's how you leverage a prison sentence over someone. But you got to actually do it. You got to get the right ones. You're not going to get anything done with Tyler Robinson being locked up. You have to start with the little fish dangling some 20 pieces and 40 pieces over their heads, and where Terrell I mean, Terrell's like, oh, I wouldn't make it a couple weeks, man. I couldn't do no time. I mean, I'm a video man. Same with Philip. He's the same way. Can you see both of them? No, they would be someone's chava in a heartbeat. That's bitch in Spanish. That's what they call them, like little chavas. Both of those dudes would be chavas in prison. They will sing like canaries. I promise you. That's what has to happen. But it takes someone at the state level, someone in law enforcement, to have some balls on them to do the right thing, which would require the people of Utah to demand that the law enforcement do the right thing. So what's it going to be? I can promise you your governor's not going to do anything. Your governor is not going to do anything. It's going to take the people to do something. That's what I would do. So if this truly is a theory that he's still alive, forget trying to prove something that, quite frankly, Jordan's like, I don't even know what kind of process. I mean, it's adopt this theory to where it actually will force Charlie to come out, because he's not going to have all of those people go down. It's not going to work like that. That's how you get this done. Here's the kicker. If the Squibbers refuse to do this and just continue on with this, oh, we're going to the floating mountain of Avatar. You've got to start questioning their true incentive of why they're doing this, because they know they're never going to be able to prove it. And that's the whole point. It is to confuse things to eternity, to always think that Charlie's somehow going to be coming back. You're never going to instrument any change at that point. Does that make sense?
Not that last part, but whatever.
Do you agree with how I would leverage the situation?
Well, that would be if and to, I saw someone here just a little bit. Let's see. There's a JT 1260. Hold on, let me scroll up. I can't pull the comments, so you'll have to pull it. But hold on. At 1024. So here's the question. Why would state of Utah or FBI reopen the case? It would be easier and better optics for them if Tyler's just offed. They can't afford to be exposed. And, you know, I think that it's clear that this is an operation, to me, in my opinion, it is clear that this is an operation from the bottom to the top. And so, yeah, who are you going to get to come in and, you know, be the real seeker of justice and bring these guys in no matter how much evidence you present, because they know that, like, it was all rigged to begin with.
So are you saying we just need to
what would be the motivation for them to
what's the point of us? I mean, like, walk me through the calculus. Like, let's pretend in this that there's a squib detonated. Like that, let's pretend that Jordan can somehow pull a fucking rabbit out of his ass and do this. What happens then?
Well, I mean, we just keep building out. I think that's why, like, I mean, I'm working on contextual side. There's several of us that are working on contextual sides. Jordan has done more work on physical recreation than anyone in this entire investigation, as far as I'm concerned.
That's not the answer to my question. My question is, if you guys can pull a rabbit out and you recreate
why do you have to characterize it like that? Pull a rabbit out. Like, yeah, pull a rabbit out.
That is.
You can pull a rabbit out, I guess. I mean, have you recreated anything?
No, I mean, we see it. we see it. I mean, I can pull it up right here on, I mean, I don't want to do it on YouTube, but like there's a river of blood coming out and it originates from under his shirt. I mean, I don't have to recreate it.
Okay.
Okay. That's the way that I view it, Kelly, because I'm looking at it in terms of, I don't see a prosthetic anywhere at all.
But we don't see the item.
So that is my definition of a rabbit.
Hold on though. We don't see an item actually of any sort actually enter his neck, do we?
No, because it's all happening so fast and it's under his shirt.
Well, no, because the hole is up here. And even when the shirt
the moment
rises,
the bubble, there's a bubble on the
Mhm.
collar, and that's what unloads into his
convenient.
neck.
It's so convenient that that happens, isn't it? It's pretty convenient that that happens. So it can kind of, conceal what's happening at that exact moment in time.
This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna have fun this week.
Mhm.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and we will see you. Yeah, it's gonna be good this week. Thanks for joining us.
Alrighty.